Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about why high-paying jobs keep most people comfortable and why low-paying jobs are a blessing in disguise, right? So hear me out. I know a lot of people complain about minimum wage. You know, I find myself complaining about it sometimes and how the job system is set up to keep us working hard for money and, you know, whatever else, right? I'm totally, against the structure of how things are. But here's the thing, high paying jobs, like I work in a setting where there's people above me that are in corporate, right? And they have, they make good amount, they make good money, right? These recruiters, these supervisors, directors, right? District managers, all those types of people, right? Executives, vice presidents, ambassadors, CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, right? Like all these corporate positions, right? They're making good money, right? But you know what? A lot of these people, right, I talk to them, I look at them, a lot of these people that make, good money, they're making maybe between 80 and 150, right? A lot of them are comfortable, right? Like there's a lot of people, I look at that are in their 40s, 50s, and, some of them are in their 60s. They're making 150, 160, whatever, which is good money. I'm not here to shit on it. But you know what? I'm like, these people are the type, they got their position. And then that's it for them. Like you gotta look at corporate, you gotta look at people in jobs, right? In corporate, and it's easy to be have like a little bit of like jealousy or like want for their position. But you have to also understand, most people in these positions, they've been there for 10, 15, 20 years, and a lot of them are comfortable, right? So they still have to work, they still have to do their 40 or 50 hours. They still have to follow the rules. They still have to go by the books. They still can't say the wrong thing. They can't make false criticisms and stir the pot, right? So they have to maintain a sense of, they have to reserve the truth if they feel obliged to say something that may hurt someone's feelings or may go against the code of conduct, right? So you have to look at it like, you don't want to be those people that are, making like 100K or 120K and now you're comfortable, right? Here's another thing as well, right? When you're making, like, let's say you make 50,000 and under, right? Which is kind of like, you're kind of pushing like your survival needs. Like you're close at the end of the month. Like you're not close enough to like be like, bankrupt or close enough to get evicted, but you're close enough to where it's like, hey, I gotta be consistent with whatever I'm doing, because if not, I'm gonna be on the street, right? I'm gonna be homeless. So when you're making, 50,000 and under, right? When you're making a salary like that or a wage, an hourly annual income of, between like 40 and 50,000, right? Just like average, right? It forces you to think outside the box, right? Because, if you don't have enough money at the end of the month, or you have like, let's say you have like maybe an extra like 200 or 300 a month, right? At the end of the month, you're not necessarily going to be super comfortable, right? And I look at people that make, good money, right? Like 100,000, 120, and beyond. And a lot of these people settled. So not only are they in the same position, but their growth has stopped because they're comfortable, right? So they don't continue to develop new skills. They don't venture out and start their own business. They don't, some of them invest their money, but most people aren't, they have like a 401. Most people have a 401k, right? But most people, they're not interested in learning about stocks. They're not interested in learning about crypto. They're not interested in owning real estate property, right? They're just doing the average, what everyone else is doing. 401k, they got their benefits, right? And then, hey, you know what? They want to live normal lives, right? They want to go out on the weekends. They want to hang out with their family, which is totally cool. Like I said, there's no problem with that. But what I'm trying to convey here is a lot of you guys are different. A lot of you guys are a different breed, right? You guys want to be successful. You guys want to be, part of the top 5 to 1 to 5% of earners. You guys want to be like free. You guys want to be just on top of the game, right? When it comes to your finances in your career. And I think the worst way to stifle your growth is to have a comfortable salary. Like I see so many people, right, that are making that type of money, and they're spending their money on keeping up with the Joneses, or spending their money on vacations and trips. And like I said, no problem with vacations or trips, but you know, they're going to concerts and they're doing this and they're going over here, they're going to this football game, this basketball game, you know. And then next thing you know, it's like, you look at it like, hey, like, you know, yeah, you make $120,000 or $150,000 a year, but at the end of the day, you're not financially free. Like, listen, I'm gonna use my mom as an example. She's in corporate, right? She makes good money. I'm not gonna say how much, but she makes enough to, you know, be, if she wanted to, like, I look at my mom, she's 60 now. If she really wanted to, she, you know, I mean, obviously 20 years ago, the investing game and online business game was different. But if she really wanted to, if she knew how to budget her money right and invest, you know, and put money in the right things and not, you know, splurge money on vacations or trips or nice cars or whatever, she could have been retired at 45 or 50, but now she's 62. And, you know, I mean, you know, it's like, why, you know, decisions over a long period of time of you spending your money on the wrong things because you're comfortable, right? Because you feel like you deserve to splurge, right? Guys, $120,000 a year isn't, I mean, it's a lot to the average mind, but when you really think about it, if you don't know how to budget and you don't know how to live under your means, it's not really that much, right? You know, let's say your annual expenses for your house and everything, your family or your living situation, let's say it's between like $30,000 and $50,000, depending on how many kids you have, you know, whatever, right? Insurance, all that good stuff. If you make 100,000, you have 30 or 40,000 at the end of every year. So, you know, what you could do a lot with that. You could spend that on self-education. You could spend that on, you could buy courses. You could hire a mentor. You could go to trainings. You can also invest in assets. So imagine if every year you have all that extra money, and you know, most people would spend that extra 30,000 that they have from their job, they accumulate on stupid shit. You know, like, because again, they feel, and you know, most people, we're all, here, listen, hear me out. And I'm not denigrating these people. I'm just speaking from a place of like, trying to not be comfortable, always trying to elevate, right? So I'm not denigrating, but here's what I'm saying. We all seek security, so that's a given, right? We seek shelter, we seek warmth, we seek survival with family and friends and tribes, right? So that's normal, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, if you make that type of money and you're comfortable, you're never going to go beyond that. Like, even myself, you know, so many people attribute their success with a 100K a year, 100K a year, 120K a year position at a job. And it's like, yeah, that's, but to me, there's success and there's things that are beneficial to me that are way beyond just a number at a senior position in a corporation, right? Or any position really, right? I attribute a lot of like success to your ability to be free, to your ability to have the choice to be around who you want to be around, when you want to be around, to do what you want, when you want, right? That's what, you know, a big chunk of like success means to me. It's not really the dollar amount, it's what the dollar amount buys. So if you look at money as a tool to buy your freedom, right? Then, you know, if you get to that position, and I'm not saying you can't, you still can, but you have to approach your work with the proper mindset, right? And the proper mindset is, hey, if I'm gonna make 100,000, that's great, but I can't be comfortable, right? Most people are comfortable. Most people just want to cruise. They want the easy life after that, right? They feel like they paid their dues. They feel like they did all the hard work, and it's like, hey, I'm comfortable now. I don't really have to grow. But you know, life is ever changing. Life is ever evolving. You're constantly growing. You're constantly learning, right? So if you decide that, hey, I got this position, and now I'm just gonna stop doing what I was doing to get to this level, then you're gonna stay at that level, right? And that's what most people end up being. They end up being these cogs in a wheel for 30, 40, 50 years. And then they wonder why, you know, shit, like I got this high paying job, you know, but I didn't know how to budget my money right. I didn't know how to spend my money right. And that's the big facade and the big lie that, you know, our parents and our teachers and, you know, universities and just our peers try to brainwash us and tell us the idea that like the high paying job is what's going to save you. No, your ability to budget correctly, your ability to invest correctly, and your ability to learn skills, those three things, budget, invest, and learn skills, is what's going to move you forward, right? And I really wish that was taught in schools. I wish our parents were smart enough from their parents and their teachers to tell us that, but unfortunately we have to learn that on our own, or learn it through YouTube or the internet, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like a little synopsis on that. So I'm not saying you can't rise to the corporate ladder and make $100,000 and beyond, and but don't be comfortable, right? Because so many people are comfortable. They fall into that trap of just, hey, I'm here, I'm at this position, I'm enjoying life, I get to do what I want, I don't have to really push hard anymore. But it's funny, once you stop like pushing or doing the things that got you to where you're currently at, that's when you begin to die. That's when you begin to stifle. That's when you see people put on more weight. That's when you see them stop doing the things that got them there in the first place. So don't be misled in the sense that you think like these jobs are superior and they're hard, they're like God to you, right? It's just a stepping stone, right? So a lot of people will stop at a certain step in the ladder, right, and then never progress outside of the ladder into better ladders, right, metaphorically speaking. So like I said, it's not the worst thing, but if you're one of these people who isn't making that much money, say like I said, you're making between 40, 50,000 or maybe lower, see it as a blessing, because it's not about the dollar amount. That's what's gonna be the blessing. The blessing is you now get to be uncomfortable, right? Because like, hey, like I gotta figure stuff out. And it's that I hate to say it, but it's that constant uncertainty and that constant unknowing of like how you're gonna make it, that metaphor that like ironically pushes you to making it. You get what I mean? Because if you feel like you're not gonna make it, or you feel like you don't know how to make it, you're subconsciously telling your mind, I gotta figure out how to make it, right? So I mean, some people don't, but that's neither here nor there. But I think you guys get the point. Never, even if you're at a position where you're making 80, 90, never settle, right? Never feel like you can live beyond your means. Never start to keep up with the Joneses. Never change course, right? And I'm not saying, like I said, you can't enjoy a vacation. You can't do normal human things, right? I'm going to take a vacation here in a couple weeks, right? But I don't do that every week. I don't do that every month. I do that once or twice a year, right? So keep that in mind when you're pursuing your goals, when you're pursuing your financial goals. And like I said, I think you'll benefit with that mindset, because you'll know, even if you rise up the ranks, you'll always feel that sense of like there's more, and that there's more to learn. There's always more to experience. There's just the rabbit hole's deep in life. There's like a rabbit hole to investing. There's a rabbit hole to marketing. There's a rabbit hole to your fitness, to your mindset. Like there's a rabbit hole to everything. So never stop developing your skills. Never stop investing. Never stop budgeting. And I think you'll pass all these people, right, who you feel like are superior to you. Maybe you're in a job and you feel like the people that are years, they've been in the company longer than you. You feel like they're better than you in some way. But I promise you, if you approach life with that mentality, you will surpass all of those people, right? So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.